All right, what's up, everybody out there? I just did the first time I've ever done this where I started the stream before I ever even put it out that I was going out there. I don't even know that people even look at the social media stuff or whether they just get like a YouTube alert. I would love to know more about that process of how people find out that you're going live. Because I've been going live random times. Um, Random times this last week, and I'm well aware of that. You know, it had been 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then it's like nighttime, 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 morning, nighttime, morning. So anyway, good morning, Samurai Beeves. First person I see in the chat today. Let's refresh myself here because I have no idea what happened after I went to bed last night. I know the Yankees won, but I didn't see anything that happened on the West Coast. Relying on YouTube alerts. All right, that's important for me to know. I'd rather not have to like Instagram story a link all the time. That seems annoying. Maybe I'll figure out a way to schedule times better. I'll come up with an actual schedule once these kids are in school. Oh, I have your notifications on Insta to find out when you're going live since it's so random. Okay, that's good to know too. All right, so I'll keep doing it. I'm just trying to figure out how I can reach more people. We can get more people in here. All right, so let's see where we're at. Blue Jays 2 up on the Yankees, who have now won 7 in a row. Now, granted, they beat some bad teams, but that's what you need to do. You need to beat the bad teams. 7 in a row for the Yankees. They're 2 back. They have leapfrogged the Red Sox. That's been back and forth. Red Sox have lost the last 2 to Pittsburgh, somewhat strangely. Blue Jays have lost 2 to Milwaukee, but nobody can beat Milwaukee. Detroit 8.5 up on KC. Houston still 3 up on Seattle. Philly 6 up on the Mets. Now, I don't know. Something feels off about this. I'm going to refresh. No, that's right. Okay, Milwaukee 6.5 up on the Cubs. Dodgers 1 up on the Padres. Dodgers must have lost last night. They've lost 2 in a row to the D-backs. There are apps out there that can post all this stuff to social media with one click. Yeah, I'm finding out that I am not as fluent in the modern social media arts as I need to be. Maybe need to be, maybe don't need to be. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that I'm not that easy to find yet. Although that might have just changed with this Mets Reddit thing. I mean, the subscribers have gone way higher, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get more people in the chat or if they're just here for the videos. And the videos, I'm going to try to pump out a couple of those a week anyway on certain guys and certain things that are happening that are awesome. So that's the plan, at least. Wild card, Kansas City now only 2 back. Texas only 2.5 back. And Cleveland. So there's 3 teams threatening to make that a race with Seattle. National League, it's a lot further. Cincinnati has now lost 5 in a row. They can't get out of their own way. St. Louis beating their ass. I mean, it looks like they're playing right now. Yeah, they have a 12-15 game today. So they're on the early game today. Let's go to Old Baseball Savant. Yeah, they're playing in the first inning right now. All right, let's check the scoreboard from last night so I can give myself a little refresher on some of the stuff that I might have missed. Yeah, we were here when it's on the low key. That's right. Oh, wow. Cardinals are already winning 2-0 in that first inning. Anyway, we got to go back. We got to go back in time to yesterday, Saturday, way back in time, and see what we can find here on the old scoreboard. All right. We saw the Brewers. We don't care about the Rays or the Nationals. We saw a little bit of the Marlins and Mets. I didn't really watch it much. Maybe I could watch the 2 Juan Soto homers, see what I got on that. Pirates, Red Sox we covered. Braves, Phillies we covered the ending. Cardinals, Reds we didn't really cover. We could maybe see. Yankees had a little rally right after I logged off, so I was actually watching that live, but I didn't, I guess, cover any of that. Orioles, whatever. Angels, we saw that. Padres, we saw some of that. Guardians, we saw that game end. Royals over Tigers. I don't know anything about what happened in that game. Cubs beat the Rockies and the D-backs over the Dodgers. Rangers over the A's. So was this DeGrom last night? Was this Jake last night? No. Merrill Kelly. Jake's today. Okay. I hate how it keeps switching my date back. Leave my date alone, sir. Oh yeah, so okay, so let's watch the Juan Soto stuff. So Marlins, Mets. All right, now we're on dark mode. This is light mode. People complained about it last night. I need more votes in the chat today. Who likes it dark? Who likes it light? Because I came upstairs, I was like, oh man, I feel bad. I've been blowing everybody's eyes sockets out with the light mode, and everybody wants dark mode. And then my wife's like, I like dark mode. I like light mode. I couldn't see anything on dark mode, so I'm like, okay. Somebody's right, somebody's wrong. All right, Marlins, Mets. This game was a shit show, but Juan Soto, 2 for 2, 2 walks and a hit batter. This is a Juan Soto special. I'm just gonna watch all the at-bats because he gets 3 off Cabrera. All right, so the first at-bat, this is our guy. We've covered him over, Edward Cabrera. Doesn't really throw fastballs. I know the changeup's 95, but still changeup. And then curveball. So changeup and then curveball. Hits him in the foot with a banger. Just a bad rep there. And he's going to walk him the second time. Ooh, the rare fastball. No intention of swinging at that. I love how Juan Soto will talk to the catcher after the first pitch. Ooh, that was actually paint. Didn't get the call. 2 fastballs in a row? Is Edward Cabrera a changed man? Doesn't get the call, though. Juan Soto's got too much respect.
400 is about
curveball
for him.
No swing. Oh, gets rid of the ball before the catcher can touch it. Oh, you thought you were going to touch it?
Yeah, not normal for anybody else.
350 is a good.
Dark mode for me, but I live in the dark. I kind of do too. All right, so 2-1. Change up 95 coming.
Have a 328 on base percentage, and that's 3rd best in the league.
Good take. I wonder what lane Juan Soto wants the ball to start in. With taking it this easy, unless he has just some sort of robotic eye, which he might have. He also probably look for the ball to pop here so that it would trend into the middle on the changeup, which is the most used pitch, or he's looking for a curveball to pop up here, one of the two. He's probably not looking for fastballs, but anyway, this changeup is a pretty nasty one, but he's able to lay off it so easily.
On base percentage, and that's 3rd best in the
Doesn't
league.
even trigger. So now 3-1.
Shade his eyes.
Slider.
3-1 to Soto, and he takes breaking ball.
Man,
for
if he knew that was coming, he would have hit that ball over the fence. Wow, he's going to double up. You can see, Cabrera's going off the menu against Soto. He's too locked in on what I'm doing.
Popped up by Soto behind the plate. Coming back from Ramirez.
Had him right there.
That'll be in the crowd.
So now he's going to go back to the bread and butter of the changeup.
The last month. And there's ball
And he spits on it.
Soto's on base
Juan Soto with the patented walk.
100
And then he's got a first pitch ambush homer. It's going to be a slider. So remember I told you before
that work in the batting cage. And Soto drives
that if he knew that pitch was coming, he would have had a homer on the slider, on the 3-1 slider. Maybe he goes up the second at bat. He's a little more aware of that pitch. And this one's actually better located. It's in. But again, he's seen it once. He computed it. Now he launches that crap. 97.8. I mean, he actually got in on him a little bit. Joey Weimer can't do anything about that. Right into the spot where I used to sit in the bullpen. There's a little bench right here. You can see it's behind the fence. It's a gray bench. I used to sit right there. This guy right here. That's one of my best friends in baseball, Mr. Eric Langell, the Canadian from Montreal. Big hockey guy, obviously. Played all through the minors, Dodgers, and actually Expos, which is super sick. And he's the guy I play catch with every single day. But anyway, I used to sit there. So this ball I would have had to move or it would have probably whacked me. Yeah, it would have whacked me in there. Bullpen dynamics for a second with the Mets, since we're out here looking at it. Let me erase this. All right, yeah, so typically I would sit here. Drew Smith, usually next to me. And then over the years, it was usually a bullpen coach over here. And then you got Edwin Diaz, so we'll go with Red because he's the big dog. He sits in here. Now, he doesn't come out till the 6th, but he sits up against the wall inside. And then nobody usually sits where this guy's sitting. This looks like it could be Rayleigh, not sure. But there's actually a room back in here. And that's where the guys kind of kick it and don't pay attention, which sounds bad, but it's actually good because it means like they're not getting stressed out about the game yet. And then as the game trends to them, they'll start going in this back area back here and warming up and stuff. But I used to always sit out here because I like to feel the atmosphere, you know, of the crowd. It used to get me locked in. So I used to sit outside most of the time. Sometimes I go inside. Obviously, I probably had to pee every half inning from the jitters of baseball. But for the most part, I'd sit outside. And I've had this iPad on my lap, and I would watch everything. So this is where this all started, which is funny to see this. But there's the Juan Soto homer. And then he actually clips a homer on a first pitch off of Gibson.
The bat.
Left on left here, first pitch sinker.
And he rips one to deep right.
Another ball in on the black in. So both home runs are on the inner edge. Lange loves it again. Soto giving love. Mets fans are juiced. They were back in it at this point. They still ended up losing this one. But that made it 8-8. Let me get another look at my bullpen guys out here. All right, so we got a guy warming up. It looks like it's Rogers is over here warming up. You got the absolute legend himself, Dave Reccanello, who's catching him warming up. So Rack drew the Rogers card. Every pitcher has a catcher that they are designated to with the Mets. So there's two catchers, Rack and Lange. Love them both to death, but I was designated with Lange. I played catch a little bit with Rack when Lange wasn't available. But that's Rack catching Rogers, and this is Lange, excited with the hands up right here. And then what did I tell you about where Edwin sits? Right here. There he is, the big dog, the caballo. Sugar himself sits right there. So anyway, there's the second homer. Both pitches are on the inside black. So I took the long-winded route to tell you that he basically turned and burned on two pitches. Here's the sinker in. Actually a really good first pitch. So even better swing. Maybe he was looking for a sinker, and then the other homer, which we just watched, you can see where this ball was located as well from Edward Cabrera. It's a slider, but look, it's inside. It's actually basically the same spot. So he homers on two different pitch types in the same spot. Big Juan Soto. Richest man in baseball. Man, major shadow situation going on at City. Can you see this one any better? Is the lighting any better here? No, it's still pretty dark. Let's watch the Soto swing. So all of you guys have seen it. This is the setup. He extremely pigeon-toes the front foot right here. So let's see what that does to the lead leg as it unravels. I'm not going to look at anything but the lead leg for a sec here. All he does is kind of lift it up, gets back to neutral, and then strides. Actually puts it right back down. He almost lifts and replaces, but all he does is uncorkscrew the hip to allow, I think, uncorkscrew the lead leg to allow the hip to actually rotate. All right, now let's look at the back leg. So he starts a little bit taller. He sinks into the hip, compresses down into the hip. Watch this move. Compress. Compress, and now he's loaded, but not really drifting forward at all. And that allows him to stay back on balls better than almost anyone else. So there's no, like the torso isn't pushing forward. It just kind of stays locked in. I mean, it goes forward ever so slightly, but it's pretty minimal, which is very impressive. And then he's able to just kind of rotate quickly and keep his hands very level. And he's actually a very level swinger. When we think of a lot of this generation's elite hitters, there is an uphill component to it. But Soto bucks that trend. And this is a line drive home run, 111.6. So it also generates a hell of a lot of pop too. So there's that. There's the physical component. He's a beast. And then he draws another walk off this Enriquez guy because that's what he does. He hits homers and he walks. He's amazing at walking. So that's the end of that. Let me get in the chat here for a second because there's some stuff I think that's being talked about. Oh, we got some interest. If the Rockies were, okay, well, there's a whole Rockies question here, and I'll just answer this one very quickly because it's simple. If the Rockies were willing to hire GM president of baseball ops outside the organization, who would you try and hire? Well, it would be me, obviously. I'm the guy. I don't know if they're thinking that way or not. But definitely, I'm not going to give it to anyone else. It would be me. All right. If you use hashtags in the description for the title, what topic would you fit into, like baseball, hashtag whatever stat is relevant, or team hashtags? It'll suggest the stream to people who watch that stuff too. Okay. So we need to do hashtags in the description. Very interesting. Can I go back and do that retroactively and it'll attract more people to watch some of the old streams? I feel like nobody really does that. Hashtags can help, but honestly, having scheduled live videos would be a much bigger help on live content. Good point. I do need to come up with a work schedule if this is going to be what I'm doing every day. So I think that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, though, the kids go back to school on Tuesday, so at least Monday through Friday, I should have some semblance of things being regular, and then I can maybe work towards a schedule. Also, you get an algo boost in content that's longer than 2 hours. That's going to be tough. The only way I'm going to do 2-hour streams consistently is if they were like at night, half live viewing, like, you know, potentially through another company that I've been hoping to work with, and then through YouTube at the same time, you know, and then I can go back and forth from the Dugout app to the live and have guests on and things like that. So maybe in that case, but I don't think it's going to be too often. Is this Savant? Reminds me. Yeah, so it's not. This is the Dugout app, which I'm sure other people shows. Dugout app not available to the public. That's how I can get all these camera angles. Wait, do you want to be in a managerial position? Yes, I want to manage and win championships, or run a team and win championships. That's all I want to do. I want to compete. I love talking the game, and I'm going to be a fan of the game, and I'll do these streams forever if it works out and all that stuff. But at the same time, I definitely have it in my heart to compete as well. People will do that. First few moves as a guy in charge of the Rockies is a tricky thing. It's more of a, in order to take over a team like that, I would need to be given a little bit of grace. Like I'd need to given like 3 or 4 year plan to get everything back on track. But for me, it would start with changing a lot of the infrastructure of the minor leagues and the player development situation to basically take advantage of the fact that we're going to draft a lot of pitchers, and we're going to have to create really good pitchers. We're not going to be able to get them in other ways. And so it's really critical that we develop our own pitching at the most elite level. And so I can't really reveal all the secrets of how that would go down, but that is the first step, is being able to create a self-sustaining pitching basically factory. And then from there, I have many other thoughts, but I can't give all that away. So people do go back and watch old vids, he's saying. Okay, good. So maybe I will retroactively throw some hashtags in there to some of the lives and just see if that picks up any more views. So that's all good stuff. All right, let's watch the Yankee rally in the extra innings. And also Bednar, we can watch Bednar do some good work as well. He's been a big piece. Oh, Bascom Turner, this is a good question. What's the deal with Citi Field's wind as a pitcher? Heard you mention it a few times. So occasionally, and mostly during day games, you will feel a gentle breeze kind of come towards you, just ever so slightly. It's not enough to really help the ball travel like crazy for a hitter, but it's just enough so that it kind of gives a little bit more air resistance to your pitches. So if you're a pitcher with movement, your movement's going to be amplified. Guys can throw higher vert fastballs, more horizontal breaking sliders, more droppy sinkers and changeups, more runny sinkers. Everything's amplified a little bit. I can actually show you on the iPad a game, and I'll do that. You know what? Let's just cut right to that. That'll be fun. We're just going to go ahead and look at that, and then we'll come back to this later. So we're looking for Marlins and Mets. This is going to be 2023, early in the season. It's got to be this game. No, that's late in the season. We need early in the season. Marlins at Mets with Ottavino on the mound. Let's try this one. Yeah, okay. All right, so just watch all my metrics in this game. So this first sweeper is 19.6. And I don't know why he swung at that, but he did. Then the sinker, 22.5. I averaged this season nowhere near 22.5. So this is when I started noticing it right away. I mean, I noticed it with the previous pitchers in, but I was going to be unfair in this game due to my east-west numbers being super inflated. Here's a negative 19 sweeper. And then this one I overcooked a little bit. And then this one I overcooked a little bit too. But wait till you see these sinkers that I throw to Sanchez and Segura. Yeah, this one, 26.4. This is not human. That's not human at all. Look at this.
With that shot off McGill's ankle for a base hit his last time up.
Then I go 8. Then I go 19 the other direction. Terrible pitch, but and then a lot of times I would go shorter on the sweeper with 2 strikes, trying to make it a more subtle drop. But then check out the sinker here again, 23.6 for the backdoor strikeout. I mean, this ball started way off the plate in the hitter's eyes.
That's a great system.
But again, it's a cheat code movement, 23.6. And then Sanchez, there's another couple in here, 21.6 sinker here. So more abnormal stuff. Changeup, sweeper, cutter. Oh, sinker here. Yeah, 20.3 again on the sinker here for the strikeout. And you can see the movement on it is just crazy. And, you know, you'd like to think that's your talent, but there was a win factor here as well. All right. Anyway, that's one quick demonstration of the ball moving a little bit extra because of the Citi Field wind. And that's, you know, a personal experience. All right, we got more in here. Which team had the best locker room camaraderie, if you had to say? All the winning teams, I guess that makes sense. 2018 Rockies, 2019 Yankees, 2024 Mets, 2021 Red Sox. So all the teams that went the furthest. Makes sense, right? Talked about metrics before, and it likely deserves its own evergreen video metrics. What's considered normal for horizontal break and what's considered elite. Same for vert. Elite is 20 inches in any direction is elite. I mean, really, you could be 18 and be elite, but 20 is like 20 is as high as you see. Anything above that, it's like extra credit. Average. Now, for a horizontal pitch, like for a fastball, for a 4-seam fastball, you got to be like 8 would be average. And you got to be north of that. 8 feels very straight. You got to be north of that or south of that if you want to create perceived cut or real cut. Sinker, like normal sinkers are like 13 or 14 on average horizontally. You want to be north of that. That's about this. Changeups are just tougher because there's such a wide spectrum of that. There's no real such thing. But I think the biggest thing with a changeup is, do you want it to match the same amount of horizontal as your fastball, or do you not want that? And I think that's a choice for every pitcher. Average sliders, normal sliders, gyro sliders are a lot smaller. Okay. I hope that answered that a little bit. Why can't they tell when a pitcher is warming up if they won't have their stuff in the game? Well, it's because even when you're warming up, this is a phenomenon that I used to notice a lot, and it's super true. I used to notice a lot in Memphis because they had a radar gun that would stay on during the warm-up inning. So I'd always think it was interesting how I would throw a pitch with as hard as I could throw in my own perception on the pitch going down, like on my last warm-up pitch before the catcher throws it around, and usually it would be like 88 miles an hour. And I felt like I threw that ball 98. Like I felt like I threw it with everything I had. Then the hitter would get in there, and I would say, okay, I'm going to go nice and easy and groove in this first strike, and I would go nice and easy, throw a little sinker middle down, and it would be 93. And it just goes to show you that your perceived velocity and your actual velocity are two different things, and having the threat of giving up a hit or having the threat of being embarrassed out there simply brings your body to a different place for a lot of pitchers. Now, for some reason, we've been able to create these guys who can throw 100 miles an hour in turf mound winter bullpens, which my generation never did. And I simply put, I don't know how anybody could do that. But with a batter in the box, things change, and that's my point. So sometimes you can be dialed in the bullpen warming up, and you're like, everything's where I need it to be, but in reality, you're throwing 86, 88, and when you get out there, it's going to be 93, 95, and things are going to be different. So that's why it's really hard to tell if you have your stuff or not. You're going to find out relatively quickly in your outing, and you're going to need to make those decisions quick if you're a relief pitcher. But for a starter, this is why they're so vulnerable in the first inning. They haven't pitched for 5, maybe 6 days. They go warm up. They have a lot of like, is my stuff going to be there type of feelings in their head, unless they're super locked in and confident type of guy. And then when they get out there in the game, a lot of times you try to work your way into that first inning. You don't come out guns blazing. You're facing the top of the order, and you get exposed right away before you realize that you need to kick it into gear, or you need to be sharper, or you need to make an adjustment with what pitches to use or how to go about it. So that's why the first inning is so dangerous for starters. And if they usually survive that inning clean and they can get themselves rolling, well, then usually now they're kind of rolling downhill in the right direction. But those are a couple things of my thoughts that go into that. All right, another question here. Do pitchers ever vary their spin for less movement to keep batters guessing? They always want maximum movement and focus that they're locking in on. That's an interesting question because subtle deviation of movement is very effective. You don't always want to have the biggest separation between everything. A lot of times it's how long 2 pitches can stay together before deviating. That's super effective. Like Jacob deGrom's fastball and Jacob deGrom's slider, they tunnel a really long time. So it's not always about maximum separation and just being on one side or the other of that. Sometimes it's about the magic trick of thinking that you're showing them one thing when you're really showing them something else. And also in terms of low spin pitches, yes, low spin is great because low spin creates drop. Because there's less spin keeping the ball up and resisting gravity, it does also aid your drop. So sometimes when you're trying to throw pitches with drop, like changeups or splits, you want to be low spin, sinkers as well. So this is why the sticky factor used to be interesting back in the day as well. It was like I would use a little something to make my slider have more spin or my four seam have more spin, but I don't want my sinker to have more spin or my changeup to have more spin. So just like everything else in baseball, there's always a give and a take. And I actually felt like I was a more complete and better pitcher without the help of anything. I used to use sunscreen and rosin, but without the help of anything, I actually think it forced me to become a better pitcher. My grips had to make more sense. They had to be more in the seams, things like that. So spin rate's not everything. It's important for certain pitch types so that you can achieve like an incredible ceiling, but it's not everything. Okay. Ghost runner probably adds a bit to the effect, I'd imagine. Is it beneficial in most cases to just act like he's not there? So this is a bit of nuance as well. Like I liked pitching with the ghost runner in a weird way, or coming in with men on base in a weird way, because it would kick me right into that I got to go right at the hitter mode, and I couldn't ease into the game. Easing into the game is a recipe for disaster for a relief pitcher, and sometimes I would fall into that trap. I'm not as nervous this night for whatever reason. I don't have enough fuck you in me for whatever reason, and now I'm willing to like ease into this game. But I know you need to come in and you need to be sharp. You need to throw strike one right away and expect the swing, and you need to be nasty right away. So having a guy out there and the threat of a run scoring and the team losing the game would always kick me into that fight or flight, and I would choose fight in that situation. And that always served me really well. Okay, but at the same time, strategy-wise, I did also act like he wasn't there. Like it's not my run. I don't really care if he scores. We could equalize, because if I think too much about that runner, I might dig myself into a hole and give up a 3 spot and guarantee that we lose. So anything can happen with that type of attitude. So it's a lot of things with that. All right, what's the key for a bullpen to maintain consistency throughout the season and through the postseason? It's just really hard to be consistent. That's the name of the game. Like consistency wins. That's why your routine's so important. Understanding how much practice you need each and every day is so important. Monitoring everything that you're doing is so important. What's working, what's not working, what adjustments can I make? How can I be one step ahead of the competition? It's a lot that goes into that answer. Either that, or you just have incredible stuff that never wanes the whole year and nobody can catch up to it. But that's like 3 or 4 guys, 5 guys that have that capability in baseball. I was a starter in high school and college and the minor leagues, 125 minor league starts. Still look at myself as a starter despite the fact that I'm obviously not one. All right, I want to get back to this. So Bednar pitched the 9th. He actually got into a pretty good situation where he had a man on second, 2 outs in the ninth, and he had to face Mike Talkman. This is a tough at-bat for anybody. Talkman went for the downs on the fastball up. Fastball up again, and then he locates a hell of a splitter to get a good guy to chase. Talkman's not one to swing at a pitch he doesn't want to swing at before 2 strikes, but he does here, and that was a critical out because it got to extra innings. Yankees don't score in the top of the 10th, so now Bednar's out there with the ghost runner, trying not to give up the run. This is how this inning goes. I just want to give him a little props for digging out of this pretty tough situation to pitch in. Winning run on second, no outs. So he gets the out with the splitter. Teal technically does the job, gets the guy to third. See, he's fired up. But then you got to execute off of a really good strikeout pitcher. So let's watch this at bat. Lenyn Sosa versus Bednar. Bednar's hunting the strikeout here.
With Lenyn Sosa at the plate. First pitch to him.
First pitch curveball. Drops it on the corner. Not going to throw him a first pitch fastball. Now he slowed him down. Now he can try to go fastball out of the zone. Ends up locating it beautifully at the top of the zone. Oh my Lanta, this ball was close.
Oh my.
So I guess that's foul by about an inch. Man, we've seen a few balls into no man's land down there. All right, so now if I'm him, yeah, I'm going even higher. And he gets the swing. Surprised he hit that. So if you're pitching here and you get a swing on that, do you throw it again? Do you go to something else? I think you throw it again. He disagrees. He goes to the splitter.
0-2.
Oh my God. Tackled by Wells. He throws a 40-foot splitter here. And Wells tackles this ball. Somehow catches it.
Spiked, but a good stop.
Carlton Fisk is cringing, but he made the play. All right, he's going to double up on the splitter. Now I would have too. Pretty hittable one, but he has him out front. He's still in fastball timing. And now he's going to go 2 speeds down to the curveball. I love this.
1-2.
He knows he has him out front, and he's still in fastball timing, so he can go 2 speeds down, and he gets the chase. 78 off of effectively 97 on the fastball is a really big amount of separation. Sosa can't hold that. So beautiful job reading the at-bat there and going to a good pitch and executing. Everything good?
Yeah.
All right, great.
I have your lunch.
Okay. I'll be done with this soon. All right. And then he gets Colson Montgomery, who's the stud rookie for the White Sox. Goes right at him, 98 middle. But that vertical break saves him. 19.6 on the VB. He's going to come back with the curveball because that was a pretty good swing.
One pitch. Montgomery to right
off
field.
The end of the bat.
Coming over.
To Caballero. No muss, no fuss. Does a good job. So that sets up the Yankees for the winning rally. So it all starts because they walk Aaron Judge. So Goldschmidt lines out. This is going to move the runner over. It's my guy, Todd Alexander. I think a little known fact is I think he free balls it while he plays. That's a crazy nugget, but I think that's true. I think that's real life. Also, incredible command this guy has. So fly out to right, moves the runner over. So now they walk Judge, so it's first and third. And now he gets Belly. You're looking for a double play ball here or a strikeout. First pitch sweeper. He's definitely hunting that with that hack. So yeah, sinker in would be the pitch. And he gets it there, but unfortunately he's going to hit it into no man's land. This is the one problem with going in a lot.
Will score, and the Yankees
flipping it in there. And now we got Jazz. So what's Jazz gonna do? Is it the same sequence? Sweeper away, sinker in. Nope, this time 4 seam. Oh, using the whole field. So this time you see some good at bats by the Yankees. But of course the intentional walk comes back to bite them because that run scores right there. And, you know, it looks bad in hindsight, but they didn't want to face Judge. There's also this is also a little doink as well. This Volpe little doink down the line. This is a heartbreaker if you're pitching.
Down the right field line, it's going to be
72 off the bat.
It is. It falls.
Just drops it in there. All these people score.
Will score. Yankees put up 3 here in the 11th.
All right, so that's how the Yankees win it. All right, I'm hungry, so I might wrap this up quick. Let's see here. Oh man, Northeastern's baseball team was unreal this year. 25 in a row. Yeah, a little blooper. There's so many names for that. Texas Leaguer, Duck Fart, Blooper, Bleeder, little dink in the no man's land. I mean, you could call it anything. Wow, 3-3 in the in that Reds Cardinals game so far today. What else did we need to see? There was some other ending. Royals Detroit, Cubs Rock Show. Was it anything like that? Kansas City, Detroit. So Kansas City is sneaky trying to get back into this thing. Let's go take a look at the Kansas City players for a second. Curious about the Royals. Reagan's is done for the year, I'm pretty sure. Bubich, Cruz, Cameron, Schreiber, Estevez. My guy, Esty. Urseg is nasty. Waka, Burgert's been solid. Zerpa, Lorenzen, Kolick, Lynch. They've had, and Falter, they've had 14 guys toe the rubber for them that have been over league average. And then Lugo, who's not, still probably pitching a shitload of innings at the 4.15, so that's acceptable. I'm assuming the hitting is not going to go as well. Yeah, it's Bobby Witt and Salvi, and then Michael Garcia and Vinny Pasquantino, my hopefully future teammate on the Italian national team in March. And then, India, Yastrzemski, who came over there. Actually, I think he's been better since he got over there. That's been a part of their rise. Frazier and Isbell have been disappointing. So it's not horrible, but it's not that exciting outside of Bobby. Bobby's the man. Dude, 100th percentile now in range, so he's right there. We might have to do a video on Bobby Witt. Watching Bobby Witt play baseball. I think I might do that. Especially defensively and then just hitting. Let me just get a quick taste, I'm curious. I mean, I would like a quick taste of what we might want to see with his defense. Fielding, outs above average. Mason Wynn's still there, but Bobby has now tied him. Bobby Witt Jr. I don't want box plots. I want the 5-star plays. Oh, you know what? It's probably on his page. What am I doing? Guess I have to find fielding. I don't know. All right. Anyway, we'll do that though. We're gonna watch Bobby Witt play defense. I think maybe in a couple days, or maybe later tonight. I don't know. All right. I'm just gonna get back onto the solo shot for a sec. Talk to the chat. We've got 23 people in here, which is freaking awesome on a Sunday afternoon. The research packet just came out, MLB Network. So let's see what they're talking about. Tarek Schoolbull continues his quest to win back-to-back Cy Youngs. His 10 starts with 10 strikeouts this season are one shy of matching the single-season club record. Ooh, Mickey Lolich. 1971. Yankees look to extend their season-high winning streak to 8 games. This would be also 10 straight road games for the first time since 1994 that they've done that, if they do that. Injury-riddled Rangers team looks to win its 5th straight game and finish a sweep with DeGrom on the mound. That's big. Can the Brewers sweep the Blue Jays? Red Sox try to avoid the sweep. Junior Caminero looks to join Carlos Pena as the only former Northeastern Husky, as the only players in Rays history to hit 40 homers. And the Guardians look to match their season high with 5 straight wins. Bobby Witt Jr., the before-mentioned Bobby Witt Jr., has an 18-game hitting streak. And Freddie Peralta's sitting on a 24-game scoreless streak. And Abner Uribe, who's the new closer for them, 17-inning scoreless streak. So that's that real quick. Okay. We got a lot of people being nice about the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy to have more people checking us out. This thing's only going to get better and better. We're going to have a lot of people on it, guests. We're going to watch live things at times, a lot of breakdowns. So I really appreciate it. Enjoying your content enables pitchers to achieve higher spin rates than others. So that's how do you get a higher spin rate? That's something that I think a lot of it is unfortunately God-given with the way that your hand, your wrist, and your fingers come through. However, you can train an additional little bit of spin rate by training your pinch grip strength. I used to do it with, I don't have any of the stuff here, but I used to do it with like a climbing block. And then you kind of like lay a kettlebell on the end of it and attach it. And you just kind of hang from these two fingers in an isometric contraction. And I would do that all the time. And I felt like not only is that good for spin rate, but also for elbow health. Trevor Bauer has all the best videos on this stuff. Say what you want, but he knows what he's talking about when it comes to pitching and being healthy. So I learned a lot watching him, but also a lot through trial and error. And definitely pinch grip strength is a big deal for spin rate. But it's also like the more you're on the seam, you're going to spin the ball better. If you're on the leather, you're not going to be able to spin it as good because your fingers are going to naturally come off that just a little bit more. There's a little bit less grip there. And so that's a factor. And that's why people use the sticky like kind of like literally glue themselves to the leather before. And you could have a bad rip on a pitch and still throw a good pitch. So that was the advantage of the sticky. Yeah, back, hand size, finger length, stickiness of skin. Guys have different levels of tack on their skin naturally. There's a lot of stuff like that. Ottavino Rockies jersey's fire. Oh, so you made it. All right, thanks, babe. Baseball seems to be lacking. Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, I rock climbing could probably strain you if you go full out. Rock climbing, but utilizing some of the information that they have because they have the strongest hands and fingers in the game, in the world because they need it for what they do. I mean, listening to them sounds like a pretty good idea, so that's what I've been doing. Like the candidness referring to the past sticky stuff used in the league. Yeah, I mean, listen, it was everywhere and it got out of hand. It was literally everywhere. You just go, nobody cares anymore. But if you go back and look at the leaderboard in like early 2021 and in 2020 of spin rate, and it's just so high. And guys were cooking up special concoctions. So I'm assuming Nolan McLean is not using anything like that as I'm answering this question here. If Nolan McLean used Spider Tech, would his stuff get more or less effective? I think it would actually be like a bad thing for him. You have this much natural spin. You don't need to go to like 3,600. I don't know. He has such a good sinker too. Nolan McLean's got like a 2 vertical sinker, so he needs to maintain that. That's an elite pitch. That's something that's separating him. It's not just breaking balls. He's got an elite fastball as well in that sinker. So you don't want the sticky to mess with that. Honestly, the impact of the sticky is a little overblown too. I know that it had gotten out of control because guys got really good at what they would do is if you ever watch like James Karinchak pitch, he would literally like touch his inside of his glove every pitch. So he'd reload it every pitch. It's not like he had like some sticky residue. He had like fresh glue every pitch. So that's creating, for a guy like that, a north-south guy, like, oh, forget it. You're creating so much nastiness. And you have such a level of, it's like almost like using a PED for that style pitcher because then you're like creating like your confidence is just like insane. Like nobody can touch my shit if I throw it over the plate. But it's not the same for East-West guys and everything else. Like there's, like I said, sweeper, did it help me? Of course. But sinker hurt me a lot. So I think I'd rather just be honest about it. And nobody does it anymore anyway. It's all cracked down on. They literally check you. They check your hand. They touch your hand. So until they were going to do that, people were going to cheat. But now I feel like it's a lot less prevalent. And I think now we've also realized that, you can be nasty without it. Like we've learned so much about pitching. All right. So those are all really good questions. We got a couple games kicking off here. Reds and Cardinals 3-3 in the third. Minnesota and San Diego have just started. I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm hungry. 46 minutes is good for today. Maybe I'll pop on again tonight. I don't know. Thanks for everybody for hanging with me today, though. It's been cool, and I really appreciate it. All right. Peace.